Instructor Velthar had trained thousands of cadets across dozens of species in his 3 centuries of service. He'd seen Corinthians tear through reinforced steel with their bare claws, watched Zephrani navigate asteroid fields using only echolocation, and observed Muridan telepaths coordinate fleet movements across light years. But nothing in his extensive career had prepared him for the 2 humans standing before his class. "These," Velthar announced to the assembled cadets, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into galactic standard, "are humans from the recently contacted planet Earth. They have volunteered to demonstrate their species' capabilities." Isabella Chen stood with her arms crossed, her dark eyes scanning the amphitheater filled with alien beings. Beside her, Marcus O'Brien maintained a relaxed posture that Velthar's experience told him was deceptive. The human male was coiled like a spring, ready to move at a moment's notice. A Corinthian cadet in the front row activated his standard-issue scanner, pointing it at the humans out of curiosity. The device immediately flashed crimson, and a harsh alarm pierced the air. "Warning! Apex predator detected. Threat level, extreme. Do not engage! Do not engage!" The amphitheater fell silent. "There must be a malfunction," the Corinthian muttered, shaking his scanner. The warning only intensified. Velthar felt his throat sacs deflate in what his species considered embarrassment. "Apologies. The scanners are calibrated for known species. They sometimes overreact to new biology." "Do they?" Isabella asked, her lips curving into something that Velthar's database identified as a smile, though whether it indicated friendliness or threat, he couldn't determine. Marcus stepped forward onto the training mat. "Instructor, your cadets look skeptical. How about a demonstration? Standard combat assessment protocol?" Velthar hesitated. The humans were unburdened by the heavy exoskeletons or armored hides that protected most spacefaring species. Their skin looked impossibly thin, vulnerable. "I'm not certain that would be—" "We insist," Isabella said, joining Marcus on the mat. "It's why we're here, isn't it? To show the Galactic Coalition what humanity brings to the table?" Against his better judgment, Velthar activated the training simulation. Holographic projections materialized around the humans, standard threat scenarios used to evaluate combat readiness. Level 3 difficulty, aggressive but manageable for trained soldiers. What happened next would be analyzed in tactical academies for years to come. The first holographic attacker lunged at Marcus. Instead of retreating to a defensive position as doctrine suggested, the human stepped into the attack. His hand shot out with frightening speed, and Velthar's multi-spectrum eyes caught the precise angle of deflection, minimal energy, maximum efficiency. The hologram stumbled, and Marcus's elbow came down on what would have been its cervical vertebrae. Simultaneously, Isabella moved like water, her body twisting through angles that should have been anatomically impossible. She'd already identified the 3 attackers approaching from her blind spots, not through enhanced senses or technology, but through what humans called situational awareness, a skill honed by millions of years of evolution as both predator and prey. "Level 5, Velthar heard himself say, increasing the difficulty. 7 more attackers materialized. The cadets leaned forward, transfixed. Marcus and Isabella didn't communicate verbally, yet they moved with perfect synchronization. When one created an opening, the other exploited it. When one needed space, the other provided it. Velthar realized he was watching something his combat algorithms hadn't accounted for, persistence hunting tactics adapted for close combat. "Level 8, he commanded, his voice strained. The holograms came in waves now, the kind of assault that would overwhelm most individual soldiers. But humans, Velthar was learning, didn't think like individuals in combat. They thought like pack hunters. Isabella grabbed a holographic opponent's weapon, a move that should have been impossible given the strength differential, and instead of trying to match force with force, she used the attacker's own momentum against it. The principles were elegant, refined over millennia of human martial arts. Marcus took a hit that would have incapacitated most species. The blow connected with his ribs, and Velthar winced at the sound. But the human barely slowed. His species' dense musculature and redundant organ systems meant he could absorb punishment that would be lethal to others. "Enough!" Velthar commanded, terminating the simulation. The human stood in the center of the mat, breathing heavily but otherwise unharmed. Around them, the holographic attackers had all been neutralized. The entire engagement had lasted less than 3 minutes. The amphitheater remained silent, but now it was a silence of respect. A Muradin cadet raised one of her sensory appendages. "Instructor, why did the scanner warn against engaging them? They don't appear to have any natural weapons or armor." Velthar looked at Isabella and Marcus, understanding dawning. "Because, cadet, humans evolved on a death world where they were simultaneously predator and prey. They developed endurance that lets them chase prey to exhaustion, intelligence that lets them outthink any threat, and a social cohesion that makes them more dangerous in groups than alone. The scanner didn't malfunction. It recognized what they are." "And what's that?" the Muradin asked. "Survivors," Isabella answered, her smile now unmistakably friendly. "On Earth, everything wants to kill you. The weather, the animals, the bacteria, even the plants. We learned to adapt, to persist, to never give up." Marcus nodded. "The scanner warned you not to engage for the same reason you don't fight a Terran honey badger or provoke a Terran orca. Not because we're the strongest or the fastest, but because we don't know when to quit," Isabella finished. Velthar updated his assessment files that evening. Next to the entry for humans, he added a simple note. The scanner was right.